You know, when you picture ancient architecture, your mind probably jumps to the pyramids in Egypt, or maybe the temples in Greece, right? But what if I told you that some of the most incredible ancient engineering in all of North America is hidden, right in plain sight, in the hills of southeastern Ohio? Seriously, we're talking about a lost world of massive earthworks and amazing art, built by a civilization that was thriving here thousands of years ago. So, how in the world do we start to uncover their story? Well, we've got to put on our archaeologist hats for a bit and piece together the clues they left behind. By looking at their earthworks, their shelters, and their art, we can start to answer the really big question. Who were these people, and what was their world actually like? Just to give you a sense of how dense this history is, take a look at this map. This is just one county, Athens County. Every single one of those red triangles isn't just a dot on a map. It represents a prehistoric site, a mound, an enclosure, a village. That landscape, especially that central spot called the plains, is literally saturated with the fingerprints of an ancient civilization. So our journey is going to take us across four key counties: Athens, Hocking, Meigs, and Washington. And to piece together their story, we're going to follow three main threads: the clues to their daily lives, the absolute marvels of their engineering, and the incredible beauty of their art. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics, right? The most human need of all, a place to live. Where did these people call home, and how did they set up their communities? Well, one of the most stunning answers is in a place like Ash Cave, over in Hocking County. Now, as the original researchers put it, this spot furnished satisfactory shelter for a considerable period of time. Let's translate that. This wasn't just some temporary campsite. This was a real home, a permanent address. In fact, the cave gets its name from what archaeologists found inside: these huge deposits of ash, layered like pages in a history book from thousands and thousands of cooking fires. And digging through those layers, it revealed a treasure trove of artifacts: bits of pottery, animal bones, stone tools, all these little intimate clues about what they ate and what their daily lives were like. But they weren't only living in natural shelters. Oh no, they were also master builders. Take a look at this diagram from Athens County. This is pure architecture. Notice how carefully arranged everything is. The mounds, the open plazas, all of it contained inside these massive earthen walls. This isn't random. This is a planned community, a structured village, or maybe even a grand ceremonial center. And communities like this were everywhere. I mean, try to imagine standing in that area they called the plains. The landscape was so dotted with mounds that, as the saying went, you could stand on top of any one of them and see another. This wasn't an empty wilderness. It was a bustling, populated, and highly organized world. And that sense of organization, well, that's where things get really incredible. Because these people didn't just build villages, they engineered public works on a scale that is absolutely staggering, even by our standards today. Let me introduce you to the Marietta Works in Washington County. First, just look where it is, right on this high, level plain next to the Muskingum River. This was prime real estate, and you can bet they chose it for a very, very important reason. Now look at this layout. This is unbelievably sophisticated. You've got two huge square enclosures, which could have been ceremonial spaces. You see those large flat-topped mounds? Those were probably platforms for important buildings. And then you have this incredible feature called a graded way, basically a grand sunken avenue leading down to the river. Just imagine the processions. And just to put the scale of this into perspective, the larger of those two squares enclosed 50 acres. 50. That's about the size of 38 football fields. Now think about building a perfect square that massive using nothing but woven baskets and stone tools. It's just a mind-boggling feat of labor and coordination. And that graded way we mentioned, that ceremonial avenue, it was made of two parallel earthen walls that ran for 680 feet. This was a monumental ramp, an epic scale avenue built by hand. So, here's the bottom line. You simply cannot build something like the Marietta Works by accident. This is proof. It's the product of a society that had a sophisticated knowledge of geometry, a complex social structure to organize a massive workforce, and a powerful shared vision. But it wasn't all about homes and massive public monuments. These ancient people also left behind something more personal, something more intimate: their art, their stories carved right into the rock for us to find. So first off, what exactly are we talking about here?
A petroglyph is a kind of rock art. It's basically a picture made by cutting, pecking, or grinding away the surface of rock to create an image. And down in Meigs County, near a place called Saxon, the very rock of the riverbed was turned into a canvas. And here, we get to see the world through their eyes, carved in stone. You see elegant deer, a powerful bear, a coiled serpent, all kinds of animals. There are even human figures and footprints, maybe telling the story of a great journey. It's like a direct message sent to us from a lost world. But here's the fragile part, and it's kind of heartbreaking. These petroglyphs, you can only see them when the river is low. And year after year, the grinding of ice and gravel from floods is slowly but surely erasing them. We are literally watching this ancient library disappear. So, when we pull all these different clues together, from the shelters to the massive earthworks to the stone carvings, what does the big picture really look like? Well, this table really says it all. The numbers are just astounding. Across just these 4 counties, we have documented over 250 prehistoric sites. Just look at Washington County with 102 mounds, or Athens with 12 major enclosures. This was not a sparse population. This was a civilization. In the end, these aren't just piles of dirt or scratches on a rock. They are the echoes of a deeply sophisticated culture. They show us a people who understood community, who could organize and build massive engineering projects, and who felt that deep human need to express their view of the world through lasting art. So we're left with this one final thought. If a complex, organized civilization like this can be found hiding in plain sight in southeastern Ohio, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other stories, what other entire worlds are still buried right beneath our feet, just waiting for us to look a little closer?